It's still sunrise.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final stage of our retreat. Well done, everybody, for taking this great opportunity gift to yourselves to heal, to listen to yourself. And here we have Markus.
Hello, hello. Hope everybody passed the 2 days with pleasure and some symptoms, of course, but at least with pleasure.
Yes. Do you want me to read for you the questions or you want to say something first?
Now we can do immediately Q&A, and during the talks there will be maybe some point that I mark out a little bit deeper, but we can start immediately. Actually, it's not only Q&A. Actually, it's that they start to share their experience or they share whatever they want. But that's now everybody is
Okay.
free to share.
Someone will start sharing the experience?
Yes, I would like to share myself. I can. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, thank you, everyone. But this weekend I have a very difficult experience compared to the previous fast I did with you. Was crazy in the mind, so many thoughts, and I feel weak and thirst. Um, I spent almost 22 hours or around that in the bed and was not very able to walk for a long time, like very tired. And the biggest problem was the mind. Too many thoughts, almost dreamy. I had to meditate in a way. I focus on the body and some places on the body to keep the mind calm, but was too intense and to the point that I don't know if I'm observing thoughts or simply swimming on them or trapping on them, and I don't know if there is a tip or it simply gets calmer with the time, with more detox, with more observing. Um, was crazy for moments. Like my God, I'm dreaming, I'm awake. I cannot stop thinking for a single second, and exhausting. But here I am, and thank you.
So also happy for your experience. But that's most of the time. The first time, that's always a good experience because you have no expectations. But the second time, when you start thinking, maybe then this time we will do it differently, and then it's even more difficult the second time when you do a retreat or you do a fast because you start thinking. Maybe it will be happen this one or like the last time and so on and so on. So the mind is always very tricky, and but very powerful. So in my point of view and in my experience, let it flow. That it means sooner or later it calm down also your mind. But the more focus you have on your mind, the bigger it gets. So of course you can try meditation and distract yourself. But I always do. Let's observe the nonsense I'm actually thinking. And only by laying down and observing, I getting calm because I do not get involved in the thought. The problem is you're thinking something and then it's you grab the thought and then it's like a roller coaster. It takes the thought talks takes you to the roller coaster and then it goes up down up down. So be an observer. That means not getting involved of the thought. It's because it's very important because otherwise the thought is taking you around and then you get almost crazy. But now you can see the problem is not food. The main problem is actually what you think. And actually your life that you have to change. But as I mentioned, the best tip or I can give you is stay calm and be an observer without getting involved of the thought that passes. Because normally there comes one thought, then there comes the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. When you grab every thought, then it's you get very easily out of control. So keep a distance, a certain distance to the thought, to the what you have in mind, to your mind. Keep a distance. Keep your I'm here, and it's only in my head. So to get back to the present, and then when it's too crazy, then I'm observing myself, observing the surroundings, and then I get again into the observation of the thought. Okay, I hope it helps you.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you. I'll try.
Thank you. Someone else would like to share?
I would like to share too. There are three things that I noticed. First one, it was a preparation for the fasting. I took it as very seriously because let's say, my mind is a perfectionist. And so yeah, eating just fruit and then I was feeling my body weak before we started dry fast. And then, of course, my mind was just rolling that I'm weak. And yeah, I went into that loop. Then the second thing was I'm never thirsty unless I'm eating something salty. But I'm never thirsty. I can be without water for the whole day and I don't need to drink. But this time, my mouth was so dry and I was so thirsty that it was almost unbearable. And the third thing is that since my mind was saying that I'm weak, I was fading and also I got a blackout. So I needed just to squat down, not falling on the floor. And then I was facing a little bit of fear because I'm alone at home these days. And I don't know, if I fade out, crash to the floor, nobody will find me. And something like that. So yeah, how to differentiate between when the body is telling that it is too much, that I'm too hard on it, and I was resting pretty much all the time. When the body is saying that it is just that he can't handle, or when the mind is just making tricks with us. That was my main, because I did finish earlier, and I don't take it as a failure, but it was experience, very good experience. Also, I got some other like hints or memories for the childhood. But yeah, it is that's the main question, how to figure out if it is that body can't handle it really anymore, or it is just mind.
The problem is your body can't handle your mind. Because you're thinking, you're programming your body to react this way. You program repeating. That's just programming your body, and then the body is reacting on it. So it's easy. You have to stay calm and understand what's actually happening. But another 2 points where one is to pass away. And pass away is because your pressure is a little bit low, so you have to do every movement a little bit slower. But when you, for example, to pass away is in German is without power. That means that someone takes away your power because you want control. Then you do movements very fast with your, because I want to do this or I want to do that. And then it says, no, stop. And this is normally passing away, but actually this do not happen. It's only for a moment you lay down, and then the pressure regulates again, and then everything is okay. So it's easy. They do not pass. When you pass away, that's perfect. That says take it's somebody wants to take away your control because you're too controlling everything. So let it flow. Your body is much smarter than you. And when you try to control it, then you can see what's the result, and it's out of control. So let it flow. Your body is very smart and knows exactly what he needs and what he don't want that you to think. Because when you think and program your body, then it comes then the direction to the reaction on it. And the third part was you're not thirsty because you were going to the bathroom. So when you go to the bathroom, that means you're not dry. You're not dried out. So relax. So you have only a dry mouth. That's two different things. It's not that you need a liquid, but it takes time that you what do you say it? That you have always a liquid in your mouth. Because normally when you're drinking, always you drink all the time. So then the activity in your mouth stops because there's no need for it, because every time you put liquid in your mouth. So it needs a certain time to activate again the possibility that you have always sufficient liquid in your mouth. So take it easy. It takes time, but by step by step, drinking less during the day and everything else, then it comes by its own again. So you have a dry mouth. No, you're not thirsty. These are two different things. Because thirsty means you are drying out and your body needs liquid, but you go to the bathroom, you're urinating, so there is no need for a liquid. Okay.
Yeah, now after this time after fasting, I feel my body is like a sponge. For example, I was drinking today morning. I did drink approximately, because it was, I couldn't do it anymore without drinking. I drank approximately half a liter of water with a little bit of honey. And I didn't go to the bathroom yet at all. I feel like, I don't know, but anyway, it was also, if I finished earlier, it's fine. It is just I'm taking it like learning, it's experience.
Oh, perfect. Maybe you have not urinated yet, but during the day or the last 2 days you were urinating. That means that you're not dried out. That's what I'm actually mentioning. So take it easy. Of course, your body needs to adapt again, because your body is adapted to liquid that you boom, 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 drinking all the time. And then it needs time to go back, that your body actually condensates the liquid he needs by breathing. So take it easy. A nice experience, and also very, very good that you know where to stop. Because the most people try with their ego. I want to have this goal, and I go there with all my ego, and then they suffer. And then you have actually a bad experience. And then when you're repeating it, then you're going into it with a little bit fear. So perfect situation. You found your limits, and maybe next time you go a step a little bit further, and so on, step by step. In the end, I will give some tip for the next step. what you can do in the future, then that you keep a certain direction with your diet. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think also the problem with me was that I had expectations with this dry fasting, because I would like to get rid of my mind. And so I said, oh, now I will be dry fasting and I will just not get enlightened. But of course, it was like, oh, now I will do some, I don't know. And it was, I think the best would be that certain days, if I don't feel to eat, then I just do it spontaneously without, let's say, this was a date for a retreat, that I just do it on my own when I will feel it, when it will come spontaneously. And because now I know how to observe my body, how to observe my mind. And yeah, I might do also like that. Or also join the next retreat with Rosia.
Okay. But I can give you the first. Actually, fasting should be a part of your life. So it's not that because eating is the opposite. I mean, normally we do not need to eat. So we have to go into fasting as our regular life. So the first step is, of course, the intermediate fasting. So after 2 days dry fasting and the experience you have done, I would say the entrance over there is 18:6. That means within 6 hours you eat and drink. Okay.
Okay.
And of course, in the direction to close the window. That means the next step would be 24. That means within 4 hours you drink and eat. And also after this dry fasting, you're eating only 5 days. That means your routine is 5 days, and then you give you as a present 1 day with liquid and 1 day dry fasting during the week. So you get to a routine of dry fasting and adapt your body to get used to dry fasting. Once a week, 1 day dry fasting. Which day? That's up to you. You choose the day, whatever you want, but keep it as a routine constantly. Because when you say, oh, well, once a month, or then even every 2 months, then you are losing it. So it should be a routine in the beginning, that you adapt your body very easy to dry fasting, and to less liquid as well, and to less thinking. But it would be nice when we could get rid of our mind with fasting. It would be very easy. Your mind is always related to your ego. So you have to get rid of your ego. You have to get rid of the one you are not. So you have to always to observe who you are not. You're not a woman. You're maybe not a mother. You're not a daughter, and so on. You have to observe in which moment I grab again the role of someone I'm not. And that's dissolving step by step also your ego mind and your ego. Okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much for the advice.
Anyone else want to share experience?
I can share.
Yes, please.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. I was reading some of the messages, and for me, I also had the dry mouth. I also thought maybe I should question that this is thirst, but anyway, I allowed myself to have a sip of water. I just said, I'm gonna do it. I know it's not needed, but I had a sip, and then it calmed down. It never came back. I mean, I still have the dry mouth, but that thought was gone. I didn't feel the need to do it again. So I realize there's an undoing there of people saying, "Oh yeah, you can be eating but without water." So all those beliefs. And I know someone who works with elderly people, and they are always told if the mouth is dry, that's a bad sign. You need to, It's like an alert. So this experience leaves me wanting to try again, completely, completely without the water, but also to prepare, like Irena was saying, to prepare more and allow myself to, for example, I did make a list of things on Friday before we started. I made a list because I could see that things to do tasks would be in my mind if I didn't write them down. So I put them there, shoot an email to myself. And that helped in a way because, you know, your list of things is somewhere, you can leave it out of the question. Still, I had new lists coming up, of course, because the mind always finds things that need doing. But the hardest part for me was on Friday, I was working still. And the afternoon on Friday, I was very irritated because at work I talk to customers. And it's funny, not funny situation that I work for a company that sells food. And I was quite irritated talking to people on Friday. I think it was the first few hours of the fast because I started it the night before. But yeah, it leaves me wanting to have a second one and explore more and be more disciplined to find what's possible, because now I had moments, of course, of quite a lot of thinking, but I had moments of I don't care. And even as I was in bed for quite a long time, like others have mentioned, usually I associate that with depression and with feelings of sadness, and I didn't have that. So that is interesting for me, that I was okay with resting, okay with a bit of everything and observing, like Markus was saying. And now, as we get to the end of the, well, my 48-hour yesterday evening, and I recognize that ego that wanted to go to 72, yeah. And I had in mind, oh, why not try that? Because I would like to see what's on the other side. I mean, I had done maybe 50 hours fast, but not fully dry. But also finding when to start eating again is the interesting part for me, because I have found previously when I've done fasting, I go back to eating it feels very abrupt in a way. It's like too sudden. Like I start with some fruit and then the next meal is already like a meal. And yeah, maybe to explore going into fruit for a couple of days. I want to do it a bit different this time and see what happens. But
Oh,
I'm very
perfect.
grateful.
Yeah, perfect. Of course, you have to understand, when you take a rest, it's because you are sick. You're sick. You are ill. You're intoxed. So your body forcing you to lay down and take a rest. It's not necessarily a kind of depression. But of course, the most people are thinking, "Oh, I'm not good." Of course, you're intoxed. Your body is completely intoxicated, so he tries to detox, and detox means he is focusing on detox and not on any other activity. Of course, that's what we do actually here. It's an online retreat, but it's also an invitation for the next step. That means 8 days retreat, and that means 8 days fast. And also in these 8 days, today actually in more or less 1 hour, we break the fast for the most people, and nobody is actually hungry. Nobody wants to eat. To leave food is very easy. It's very easy. And of course, in the environmental we are right now, we are in nature, and it's very easy. Nobody wants to eat. But of course, when you go out, go into the system, and go into your family and everything else, then it's like a vampire. It sucks you, and then you are in there again. So you have to be very pay a lot of attention of the temptations, and the mainly in your mind. So, but physically talking, your body don't want food, and the most people only drink even after 4 days dry fasting. One lady was drinking too much and was even vomiting after 4 days dry fasting, and she was very anxious to drink, and that's the problem. You should, when you finish your fast, you starting with no anxiety, very calm, very easy, with a lot of gratefulness, and then everything comes slowly. But when you start abrupt or very sudden, you're fast with a lot of um, desperation. I want something to drink or want something to eat. Then, of course, the reaction of your body is saying, no, 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 stop. And we won't get crazy again. Do it soft and slowly. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Who would like to share the experience?
Of course, there's nobody forced to share. Nobody is forced to share this. It's here open window for sharing. The easiest ways would be when there's a small mark over there to show I want to talk, and then you lift up your hand over there. It's much easier that we can see. Okay, I want to talk, and when there's nobody to talk, then I'm going to talk.
Someone said, I have realized about how difficult it is to have family. I cannot just abandon my children, but I have thoughts of leaving. Can you help me rectify this?
Yeah, abandoned. Who is abandoning children? Nobody. So take it easy. But of course, they follow you. When you're an addict, then you form another addict. When you're a slave, then you form another slave. When you sacrifice yourself, then you show them to sacrifice. So you as you are the example. So that's very important. So of course you formed. I don't know what age your children are. You formed already in your children the addiction. So, but you should be the example. When you are calm, when you are in a perfect state, then you help them to follow you. Of course, the family is crazy. Always the point is why I'm looking for my family in my family, and that's also again ego programming. And in the end, I'm not happy. I'm in my family. I'm thinking I'm good, but I'm not happy. So something is not right over there. So you have to observe in what state I'm actually and why I'm with my family. I'm talking when you're already in your stage that you can be separated from your family. When you have your own family, then means your children and your partner, then you have to talk. That's very important. For example, right now you did a weekend experience, and then you have to talk to them, to share with them your experience, to help them to understand what's happened with you, and that they do not react like the normal family reacts. You are crazy, why you do not eat for 2 days or whatever. Sharing is the best way. That they understand you and you understand them. They are addicts. They are following their program, but you have to be faithful, or what do you say? Faithful to yourself. You have to be honest to yourself, because otherwise you're in a conflict. You adapt, you're accustomed to your family, and then it's a problem.
She said, my kids are used to me fasting. My daughter said, I'm going into silence too. She's 8 and she did it. My son is 11.
You're perfect. They already do not need you again. You're obsolete. Well, of course, that's the truth. They already have their ego mind. They already do their own stuff. So take it easy. So take care of yourself. Then you show them that they have to take care to themselves as well. So it's very important. And when they understand that you're too fast, then they accept it, and then maybe one day they join you. They say, "Oh, let's do it together, mom," and then perfect. But you are the example that you not adapt you to them, so you want that they adapt to you. So you should be the example. And when you are happy and in a healthy state and mindly also more calm, more as not mom, more as someone who shares life with me, a life partner. Life partner is not only always your partner. Life partner is already also your children, your parents. So not my mom, my dad, not my children, my life partners. Then we are soul mates. All together, everybody is coming from one soul, so we are all soulmates together. So when your children see you not as mom, as somebody who is I'm sharing my life with, that's much easier. What was the question? Or there were?
She said, my son has dry fasted almost an entire day until 5 p.m. He doesn't get hungry. Thank you for these tips, Markus.
You're welcome. And then you can see as well, children normally don't want to eat. When they are happy with themselves, when they are free, then you can see it. When children play, they play the whole day. When in the summertime, they are in the lake, in the woods, and you have to force them as parents to eat because they don't want to eat. Because I'm happy. I'm happy playing and be myself. And when you're happy, be yourself, then there's no anxiety, then there is no food needed. And normally we eat because of our anxiety.
Okay, MA said, my main problem is not stopping foods. I'm addicted to tobacco since 30 years. And my father was a chain smoker since my birth, so my experience this weekend was rather that I had the feeling to harm myself smoking while fasting. I have sat over 10 days with Vipassana courses and still struggle to quit smoking. I also used to be a drug addict. 17 years, managed to quit those drugs. I appreciate some words on this.
Okay. Smoke is like a part of family. That means I want to be a part of the tribe. It comes actually from our ancestors. That's the peace pipe. Maybe you can remember from the Indians, but this is a certain act of I want to be a member of the tribe. And then I copy them and to be with them. And when they smoke, and then smoke means I want to join them and be part of them. And I think I'm excluded of the tribe. Therefore, I'm smoking. It is more the basic, more or less, of the idea of smoking. So because you have to understand, because I'm actually smoking. Because it's a drug. Drug comes because of anxiety, and you want something. You feel some anxious, some anxiety with yourself, and you have to go to the cause why I'm smoking, why I'm looking to be or feel, in this case, feel to be excluded from my family, to be beside my family, and therefore I'm searching actually to be a member again. But of course, that's only an idea. It's a false idea, of course. It's a lie. So what's happening in your life, in your childhood, that makes or brings you to this trauma, that's actually trauma form experience to go into smoking, into drugs and whatever. But that's always, but as I hope you understood, the drug itself doesn't matter. If it's food, if it's liquid, alcohol, I mean, or any other drug, the drug is a stimulation because you don't like your life like it is right now. So you have to change. You have to change something. Otherwise, how will you change something? It's impossible. So you have to understand yourself a little bit more, why you're acting or do something what you actually don't want to do, and that force you or brings you into anxiety, and then you need a drug to calm down your anxiety. So it's very important to observe and get to the cause. That's actually true meditation. But you do not, I can read it right now, I'm trying so hard. You shouldn't try hard because you want to force something or you want to stop smoking. But inside, you want to be part of the tribe, and that brings you to smoking. So that will be always struggle, always. So you have to go to change the source. And the source of the problem is I'm searching for love, and to be searching for love, maybe for your parents, father, mother, to be, you have the idea of abundance, that my parents have abandoned me or let me alone or whatever. And that's actually the cause of the problem. And when you do not dissolve the cause, then you maybe switch from one drug to another drug, but the cause is not solved. So always observe what brings me to the addiction or to the drug, whatever it's food or smoking or cigarette or whatever. Observe. Take it easy. It's also very important. Calm down. That I maybe in the end or later on I will explain the step. There is patient is also a very important part to everything else. Well, you can see there's the sun coming.
Yes, it's looking nice, the sun over there.
Yeah,
Anyone?
Yeah, when it's here, it's summertime. So even in the morning, it's still fresh because it's in Chile. Chile is the South America, South America. And so, but it's okay. It's nice. During the day, it's even hot.
Any questions, anyone?
If
Yes,
not, then we can.
I
Okay,
have
go
one
ahead.
last question. I typed it tomorrow, and it was about when the thinkings goes around looking for love, and I asked about the things about sex moments, sex remembers, sex craving. If it's in the same line of looking for love through sex.
What you have to understand, your sex drive comes actually that you have learned as well. My confusion of my sexual life was because I was copying unconsciously the behavior of my parents. So they had a confused sexual life with themselves. So I copied them. Even I do not was sharing the sexual life with my parents, but you have to understand when you live with them, everything what they're thinking, they're acting, you are get in touch even with your mind, with them, and then you grab it, and then you copy them. That's you have to understand first that you actually your behavior is not that comes from your soul and from inside. That's something that you unconsciously copy. And the first step that you're learning is by your parents, even not by watching, by feeling. You feel what they feel, and when they feel a very confused life and sexual life, and mainly by our sexuality is very it's a big confusion, is searching for love, because via with your partner, for example, via in a relation, because you're looking for love. And of course, for men, it's much more difficult than for women. Okay, because for men, it's always act of procreation and like a drive to an animal state, and then you behave even like an animal. So it's a little bit difficult, but of course. It's the main part is you're searching for love. You're searching for something over there to be recognized, to be you can say a macho. You be I'm a man, and then you search for it. But you have to understand why I'm searching. I'm searching because I'm thinking I'm not enough. And that's why I come to this idea that I'm not enough. Then it's always because of some some sort of trauma that you have lived in your childhood. So always observing and getting to the cause. But that's not a natural behavior. Our sexuality, it's not a natural behavior. Because when you see nature, cellus, como, what I can't remember. When, for example, in nature, it's only once a year or twice a year that you normally do procreation in nature, or they do procreation in nature animals. But we're looking for it every day or once a week or whatever. That's not nature. That's not natural. So you can see our sexual drive, our sexual behavior is not natural. And therefore, our motivation or our drive to the sexuality is mainly searching for love, searching actually for to be recognized or whatever. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Marcus. But comes to my mind some animals who live this something different, like dolphins or some monkeys. But I think anyway, it's completely different how we live in our society, sex, and how it's in my mind rooted. So thank you for the answer.
Yeah, of course. And normally, what I'm thinking in the future, we should separate procreation from sexuality. Because in nature, there is no sexuality. There's only procreation, the act of procreation, not act of sexuality, of pleasure, of searching for love, and so on. That's the big confusion that lives humanity with sexuality.
Thank you.
So when there is no further question or somebody wants to share, then I can share. Actually, the step in Spanish is paso, and all the first letters of pasos means always something. That means first, the first what we should have or recover is patient. To be patient. Be patient. When you translate it in Spanish, paciencia, that's signs of peace, that you are in peace with yourself. And then you have to observe why I'm not in peace with myself. And mainly when you search for love, when you search for food, and when you search for money, then there's no peace in you. Then it's constantly impatient, constantly thinking what I have to do to obtain something. So you have to go to the stage to be in peace with you, and then to observe why I'm not in peace with myself. Okay, that's the first. The next is, as I mentioned, is fasting. in Spanish means paciencia, ayuno, fasting, silence, and opaso, it means observe. But that we go further on. So means fasting. The next part is number 2 is fasting. As I mentioned, we should start with intermediate fasting, at least with 18:6 and go to tendency even to 23:1. And only eating should be 5 days a week, 5. The week has 7 days, and then you give you as a rest. Normally on the weekends you eat more than usual. So because there's family or whatever, or there's a party or a special event or whatever, then you should switch. On Monday, say, okay, Monday I will recover with a dry fasting day. And one other day, maybe before weekend, you do one liquid day. So you go to a routine that dry fasting and liquid fasting is a part of your life. Fasting should be a part of your life. And also intermediate fasting, most people, how long I should do, it's your part of your life. It's we have to understand eating is not something natural. So we have to go back. Okay? And the next is, I don't know, you have kept silence during these 2 days. Silence is also this unit here, the cell phone. That means there is no communication with the outside world. And that silence means no attention to the outside. Means silence means attention to the inside, to listen to yourself. It's very important. You have to learn to listen to yourself. Because when you have attention all the time outside, then there is no listening into inside. And inside you, there are all answers. All answers. You can the most people always ask me, but inside you there are all answers. So therefore we have to learn to listen to ourselves, and this is only possible when we turn off the outside world. And the outside world means everything. That means silence. I do not talk to nobody. I do not distract. I do not read. I do not take attention to the screen here on the cell phone or nothing. Completely with myself. And the next is, in my point of view, the true meditation. That means be an observer. We have to learn again to be an observer because we were trained to be an analyst. An analyst compares all the time. They give you the ideal or the ideal that's the perfect you should be, and then you compare yourself. And that's the worst what you can do, because then you struggle always the time, because I failed over there, I failed over there. All the time is to be better. No, you're in a perfect state. You're perfect. And then you have to only to observe. That means in a neutral position. That's also important by observing your mind. When you go on the roller coaster, then there is no neutral position. So you have to step back and observe the roller coaster of your mind. Why are you thinking that? What are you thinking that? And then sooner or later, your mind calms down automatically. But it will never, ever calm down when you all the time go on the roller coaster. You have always keep a certain distance of what you're thinking and what you're observing. Always keep a distance, and also observe the observer, because your true self do not need to observe. Your true self knows exactly, and there's no need for thinking and everything else. Because thinking is a part of time, and time is only existing here, because thinking is mainly past and future. When I'm living in the present, there's no in my present, and there is no thinking. Thinking is always past and future. That's my idea of time. But for your true self, there's no idea of time. So there's no need for thinking. Who is thinking and who is observing is actually your ego. Okay? That's actually the step, what I give you, the 4 points. Patient. Observe you're not peace, that you are impatient. Keep always a constant fasting in your life, silence. Give your present to yourself as well, a daily silence, at least 2 hours. 2 hours, maybe you go to the woods or in a park. Search for a spot for you where you with yourself. And in this moment, also be an observer. Sit down, that's a true meditation. Take a bench or whatever, sit down and observe. Of course, you can learn to observe. Observe a leaf in the tree, listen to the birds, to every sound that you can grasp. That's nice then, because the sound and everything is in the present, and you learn also to be in the present and to be an observer in the present, and not when you go on the roller coaster and then you observe future, past, and you'll get lost again. So it's a constant training to be an observer, because we were observing in our childhood. We learned to speak and we learned to walk without ego mind, without thinking. We were only observing. And this we actually lost in our life, because the system, especially the education system, is always give you the ideal, how you have to be, and then you compare yourself, and then constant comparing. It's only suffer. It's only suffering your whole life to compare yourself. For women, it's even worse, because on every corner you see a model on a wallpaper, and that's even much more terrible. You compare, and then you're constantly suffering. So you do not have to compare. You have to learn to be an observer. I hope these 4 points helps you to get even a little bit further, step by step. Okay?
Okay. So I'm organizing the retreat in England, in the Isle of Wight, in the south. MA was asking, the cost is £250 for a share room, or £500 if you want your private room, from the 9th to the 17th of May. That's the one in English. Then you can see the calendar for the dates. I don't know the prices for the other ones. You are in silence, Markus. You are in silence.
The cheapest, of course, is in Spain, but it's this year will be only in Spanish. So, of course, because the site where I'm, it's actually a friend of mine. So he has no interest in gaining something. So it's always the problem. The site where we have to do the retreat. The costs are there, and also my travel expenses and the organization. So there are costs. That's what you're gaining from it's even much more that you can even pay. The most people always they say to me, I can't pay what the gift you have given me, because I have learned so much about myself that I can't pay. It's too. But the gift is actually that I'm not giving to you. That's actually a gift that you give to yourself. When you take time to 8 days, you understand so much about yourself, everything, what's happening in your mind, much deeper. Now you have done 2 days and you were struggling. By 8 days in silence, by 4 days dry fasting. Even here in Chile, there are 2 or 3 people always, they escape, because you were confronted with something that you normally your whole life you're escaping. Whole life you try to covering it, to distract yourself. But by silence, by no activity, and by a longer 8 days fasting, there's no escape. You will see what you have to see, and of course enjoy it. Enjoy the profound and the deep discovery of yourself. It's very nice. It's very nice. The most people are so happy because finally I understand. Finally, I'm getting free of the false ideas of food, the false idea of myself. Finally, I can be free.
Okay, Veronica asks, is called to sit in nature in silence. Can we walk instead?
I mean, of course, you can walk. Oh, yeah. Everybody can do it in their own way. Of course, by walking, you're also in your present. That's also nice. Do whatever you want, but do not the activity to be a part of your distraction. That's actually the main problem, what I can see. The most people try not to be in quietness or in silence in nature. They try to distract themselves, starting running or anything else. No, do a walk or sit down in nature, whatever, something in a smooth activity, very soft activity without any goals or to reach something.
Are there any requirements to come to the retreat?
You can share on with them my webpage. There's the agenda where you can find any activity, and also there's the explanation for the retreat as well. The explanation of the 8-day retreat, what's included, what's actually the intention, and so on. So very easy. Also, I want to give you what do you say when you say felicitarse, felicidades? ¿Cómo se llama felicidades en inglés? Ay, ya me olvidé.
Happiness, felicidad.
Yeah, it's happiness, but I want to
Joy.
To recognize that you have reached so much. You have reached and have, did the step by your own to do a fast. It needs a lot of courage to do a fast, because the most people, when you are in your surroundings, they say, "Oh, why I do a fasting? Why I should suffer?" But in the end, it's you're gaining something. You're gaining in this. Actually, concrete relations. That's the word what I was looking for. Your concrete relations for your goal or for your experience, actually, for your experience. Very nice, very for the most people pleasant, even when you feel some circumstances, but this is experience. And 2 days is a small discovery, but by 8 days you discover deeply, very deep, that you're an addict. And you discover even by that how you can get free from your addiction. So therefore, I'm doing the 8 days, because I can see the most people say, I want only a weekend. By only 2 or 4 days, it's not enough. But by 8 days, it's enough, because most people also ask me why we can do not even 21 or even more days. I say, 8 days is enough to discover that an addict, and by 21 days, you do not get rid of your addiction. Of course, you have to go to the cause of your addiction. That's very important. So enjoy. Maybe Rocio will organize a next retreat in English, online retreat in English for 2 days or 3 days. But in the future, I won't join every day. I will only join maybe the last day. It's the finishing, because I'd like to have more time with myself, because I have seen I was also too much sacrifice myself for others, and then my physical body gets hurt, and I get weaker and weaker and weaker, because I'm getting giving up more to others than I actually should, and then my body reacts. And so my body was saying, no, stop. You have to do more for yourself and divide the retreats in a proper way, so that you do not suffer too much and that you share, but with pleasure and not with suffer. So congratulations again for your goals, for your experience, and I hope we see us one day in soon in May in UK. In June I'm in, or end of May, early June I'm in Spain, and then Europe, Europe again in September again in Spain, and even in Greece. In Greece, I will do also both languages. I will do in English, and they will translate it translating it in Greece. So I hope I will see you soon in one of the retreats, and there you can do your own proper experience with a long-term 8 days fast.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.